Hello. Today we are factoring with a not equal to 1. We are still factoring a quadratic. So typically our quadratics are going to be in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And then, now, this term is going to be any number but 1. Our easy factoring problems had a equal to 1. Meaning that it wasn't ax squared, but it was really just x squared plus bx plus c. And that factored to become x times x for our first numbers, and then we did some math to figure out these two. Now, since a is any number but 1, we have a lot of different options. So let's look at an example. What if it was 3x squared minus x plus 4? In factoring this problem, there's a lot of options. It's best to take it piece by piece. Here, you're trying to end in double parentheses. And let's make this a minus 4. Sorry. So first, look at your leading term. Think of all the numbers that multiply for your leading term. In this case, it's just 3 and 1, which means that one number is going to be 3x, and the other number is going to be x for the first term in each binomial. So now go to your last number. The numbers that multiply to 4 are 1 and 4, and 2 and 2. Now, as you do these, you'll be better at kind of doing some mental math in your head. But for now, let's just pick a pair. Let's pick 1 and 4, and we're going to see if it works. So I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to put 4 there. And I'm going to do what I call a rainbow. So you find your inner terms, 1 times x, which is 1x, and then 3 times 4, which is 12x. Now you have to think, will 12x and 1x in any way, shape, or form give you negative x? And it does not. There's no way by adding or subtracting that 12 and 1 will give you 1. So these numbers are wrong. But it doesn't mean we picked the wrong pair. Perhaps we should just pick and rearrange the pair. So if I put 4 here and 1 here, and then I do the rainbows again, so I have 4x and 3 times 1, which is 3x, is there a way that 4x's and 3x's can give me negative x? And in fact, there is. Because if I subtract 4 and 3, I would get negative 1. Now backtrack and make sure, since this 4 is a negative 4, you want one number positive and one number negative. So you have to decide, should you do 4x minus 3x, or should you do 3x minus 4x to figure out which number is actually negative? In this case, since I'm shooting for a negative x, I want to do 3 minus 4. Which means that 4 is my negative and 3 is my positive. So backtrack your rainbows. The negative 4 comes from the rainbow on the inside, so the negative goes with the 4. And the positive 3 comes from the outside, so that means my 1 is going to end up being positive. My answer is 3x minus 4 and x plus 1. Let's do at least one more example. How about we do 5x squared plus 6x plus 1. So again, you're looking to go for double parentheses. So start over here with your leading term and think of your leading coefficient. The numbers that multiply to give you 5 are 5 and 1. And that's it. So that means that one number is 5x and the other number is x. Great. The next number, again, we ignore the middle term till the very end. The next number is just 1. The numbers that multiply to give me 1 are 1 and 1. Well, that's the only combination that gives me 1. So now I just have to decide if I need any positives or negatives. I have 1x, and then I have 5x. My inside rainbow is 1x, my outside rainbow is 5x. So, can 5x and 1x make positive 6x? And yes, they do, by simply adding. So this one didn't actually require a lot of guessing and checking. When the numbers are small or prime, it usually makes life a little bit easier for us. Let's do one more that's maybe slightly more complicated. How about 7x squared plus 12x plus, we'll do a minus. Minus 4. So, again, going through and listing our factors. You're going for double parentheses, that's the goal. So over here, numbers that multiply to 7 are 7 and 1, which is nice, meaning that this has to be 7x and this has to be x. Those are my only options. Now 4, we've already actually done this. It could be 1 times 4, or it could be 2 times 2. We'll see which one works out. So if I put a 1 here and a 4 here, let's rainbow check and see if that's correct. This is 1x, and 7 times 4 is 28x. And now you have to think, is there any way that I can get 28 and 1 to give me 12? And the answer is no. That does not work out for me. So let's erase. Again, I might not have picked the wrong pair. I may have just put them in the wrong order. So what if I put 4 here and 1 here? So I have 4x, and then I have 7x. And now I have to think, is there any way that 4 and 7 can give me 12? Well, 4 plus 7 is 11, which is not 12. And one of these numbers has to be a negative because it's negative 4, so that doesn't work out well either. So that means that 4 and 1 don't really work for me. So let's try the pair 2 and 2. 2 and 2. So I have 2 times x, which is 2x on the inside. And then on the outside, I have 7 times 2, which is 14. And now I have to think, can 14 and 2 give me 12? Well, if I subtract 14 and 2, I can get positive 12, because 14x minus 2x would give me positive 12x. But I have to make sure that I'm allowed to subtract. If I subtract, that means that one number has to be positive and one number has to be negative. And since this 4 is a negative, this will work. So I need a positive 14 and a negative 2. So positive 14, negative 2. Since the negative 2 goes on the inside, I have a negative next to this first 2. And then on the outside, I have a positive. So my answer is 7x minus 2 and x plus 2. Thank you and good luck.